Welcome, everybody. We are live here from the AIA Conference in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the booth put out by AE911Truth, talking about World Trade Center Building 7. A resolution 16.3 is going to be voted on tomorrow at the business meeting, and we are educating the delegates and other AIA members who come by this booth about the controlled demolition evidence, the information that surrounds the greatest structural failure in modern history, and letting them know that this needs to be investigated again. That's simply what we're calling on the AIA to do, to call for a new investigation into the destruction of World Trade Center 7 on 9/11. So we wanted to do this live webcast for the supporters out there, people who have been following this issue for years, let you know what we are doing here in Philadelphia and all the great work that our volunteers, some of our experts out here talking to delegates are doing. Richard Gage is currently talking to a person right now. He's going to be joining us in just a moment. But this is how change happens. It's just constantly going out there, making connections, and showing people the information. So first, before we start talking to people, I'm going to pick the camera up, and we're going to give our supporters a little bit of a view of what this booth looks like. Now, bear with me. I'm on a laptop, but one of the first things when you are a delegate here at the AIA conference or a member and you walk by, what you're going to see is our booth right behind me here. And let's see. Now, I apologize for any low quality resolution. Of course, you can boost that by hitting the gearbox underneath the video screen, but that is what the booth looks like. And as you walk by, one of our volunteers will ask you the question, are you aware of the third tower that fell at the World Trade Center? And then you're invited to watch this video. We're going to watch this video right here. One of our great volunteers is right beneath that. But this is the video showing every angle of World Trade Center 7 as it goes down. All right. So that's one angle. This is one of my favorite angles. And what I've been asking folks as I talk to them is, after I ask them about if they know about the third tower that fell on 9/11, as I say, what instinctively does that look like brought that building down? Forgetting about 9/11, forgetting, about all the emotion of that day, what do you think brought that building down? And 9 times out of 10, they will say, well, that looks like a controlled demolition. It'll look like preset explosives brought it down. And then I will tell them what the government story is, that random office fires caused this high-rise to fail, that a few thermally expanding beams framing into a girder, one failure in one column brought this entire structure down in 7 seconds. And they'll be surprised. They'll say, I can't believe that. I've had a number of people who have signed the petition from getting our information today and listening to the arguments presented by architects and engineers for 911Truth, and we're asking them to support the resolution tomorrow. So, like I said, there's lots of people here hard at work. Architects who live in the area have come down to lend their support, talk to others, and we're going to be talking to Richard Gage, AIA, as soon as he's free here in just a moment, about what he's been doing and some of his experiences today. I had some great experience. I talked to a professor of architecture from one of these major universities who had never heard about this third building before. And as I've said many times, the fact that many architects and engineers have never even heard about this supposed structural failure, the worst one in modern history, is a real testament to the lack of information about this important event. I've said that the engineers not knowing about this is like doctors not knowing about the Black Plague. This is something that should be studied. The input data should be revealed for all to see to prevent failures, alleged failures like this from happening again. And people are hearing these arguments, and they're jumping on board. So we're collecting a lot of petition papers. In fact, we're collecting so many that we've lost count of them. And I consider that a good sign. So we're going to talk to one of our volunteers out here right now. David. So, David, come into the shot here. All right. I met this gentleman here this morning for the first time. Introduce yourself to the audience. Why did you come out here? What have been your experiences today?
Oh, I'm Dave Minnick. I came down here because I found out these guys were going to be here, and I live up the road. and I've been following AE911 for years, supporting various donation drives and literature distribution, that type of thing, and totally supporting the effort that's going on to get at the real core of what happened, not only with this World Trade Center 7 building, but everything around 9/11.
Absolutely. So what have been your experiences today here at the AIA conference? What really stands out for you in your interactions with others?
My experience here is that there's a lot of interest in this event. People come walking by the booth. At times, what do we have, like 7 or 8 people working here? Everyone's occupied with somebody that's interested in what's going on. We're getting a lot of petitions signed by registered architects and engineers, and I had no idea how this was going to play out, so I'm very happy to see what's happening.
You finding it easy to talk to people? You finding a lot of positive responses?
There's a variety. Most people come in and they've got some interest. A lot of people have never seen these building collapse videos of World Trade Center 7.
Mm-hmm.
So it's news to them, or maybe they heard something about it, but that's about it. They don't have any background information on it. And when we fill in the blanks for them and tell them how the government's position on this collapse was common office fires caused this collapse, it's sort of incredulous to people. I mean, it has all the indications of some sort of demolition. So I'm happy to see there's this much interest from actual architects, structural engineers, and I'm happy to meet the guys that are behind it, for the first time.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's a completely different experience when you actually meet somebody you've been talking to for a long time. So thank you for coming out here. Keep up the great work. We're going to talk to another volunteer out here. Maybe I can talk to Tony. Tony, want to do a quick interview? All right. Here I am.
How you doing?
I'm here with Tony Nardella and our Chief Operating Officer, Kelly David. And first of all, Tony, introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them who you are and why you're out here today.
Sure. My name is Tony Nardella. I reside in the Boston area. I own a company called Boston Kiln. We sell and repair pottery equipment. I'm a master electrician in Massachusetts. I've had a contracting business for 35 years.
So how did you wake up to this issue with controlled demolition on 9/11?
A friend of mine turned me on to the film Loose Change. And then there's just too much evidence there to know that there was something, behind this. So then I looked into it more and jumped on the web and checked things out. And, somebody can tell me something, but if I see something, I believe it more. So when these buildings came down, they told me it came down from fire. It just doesn't make sense.
All right.
Yep.
I just want to introduce everybody to our Chief Operating Officer, Kelly David. Kelly, just tell us what you do here at AE and some of the experiences you've been having here today.
I'm the Chief Operating Officer of AE911Truth. I basically manage the back end operations of what AE911Truth does every day. What else did you want to know? What my experiences are here?
How have you felt about your interactions today at AIA?
Actually, I think it was very positive today. We had a lot of positive people asking really good questions, not kind of brushing our evidence aside. They would stick around for a while. We got a lot of petition signers. So I think overall it was very positive.
All right. Hey, Tony, what do you think about your interactions today?
Same way. I'm kind of surprised that people are as enthused about it as they are. I mean, it's a very hard subject to get your head around. It's not an easy subject. Once you come to the realization that it was not, what we were told, then there's more implications. And the people here that I've met so far are willing to go down that road. There were a few that don't want to kind of go any further about it. But in general, I'm kind of pretty happy. I think that the efforts that A&E has made before is actually starting to bear fruit. And it will be more so in the future, I'm sure. What
do you guys think about the importance of being positive with the message? I mean, I understand it's a a tragic occurrence that happened on September 11th, but the importance of presenting it in a way that is friendly, that isn't too aggressive, and doesn't scare people off too quickly.
Well, yeah, as you said, it's kind of difficult to even discuss this subject because it is not something positive, but I think in a way we're kind of giving them hope. Things aren't what they were before. The world isn't what it was before. So here, we're working hard to expose these lies and give people some hope for change.
What do you think about keeping the message focused and presenting it in a positive way?
I think that's important because it's such a heavy subject. And that unless it's brought about in a way of positive, like Kelly was saying, with hope, then, it become a dismal thing. So I think that's really an important thing. It's really hard for people to get their head around because it, like I said earlier, it has some implications and stuff. And to be able to say that, there's an organization like our organization that is working for the exposure of this and for the truth of it is a positive thing for them. And it, hope is free, and hope is the most wonderful thing. And, I think that our message to people here is that that's a possibility again.
All right. Thank you, guys. Keep up the great work. And
you.
Nothing more important than keeping it on track, keeping it focused on the science, and putting out that positive vibe when you talk to people. Look them right in the eye and ask them what they think about the destruction of this building as they watch it come down. Most times their instincts will kick in and they will believe that, that it does need to be investigated once more. So we're going to take some more of a tour here around the AIA conference to see who else we can talk to at this event. And I see Richard Wallace is here. Richard, you up for an interview? Yeah. All right. So Richard's going to come join me at the impromptu interview table that we've set up on some of our literature. Richard, tell the audience here. We'll get you in the shot here. All right. Tell the audience who you are, what you're doing out here today, and we'll go from there.
Okay. My name is Richard Wallace. I'm from Chicago. I'm a member of the American Institute of Architects, and I am a sponsor of this resolution that we are presenting to the AIA at the annual business meeting tomorrow. The purpose of the business meeting is to elect officers and to pass judgment on various resolutions that come before the board. And tomorrow is the day for that. Well, we have this resolution in front of the AIA. It's asking a very simple thing. Building 7 collapsed on 9/11, and it was not hit with an airplane, and there were no bombs in it. And we're asking the American Institute of Architects, that's the largest organization in the world, to pass a resolution asking for an investigation into why it happened. Why did the building fall down? That's all we're asking. And we're doing that tomorrow. And that's what we're doing here, getting signatures. And we're getting a fantastic response from people, more and more every day. And we're going to succeed with this thing. And whether the AIA is on board or not, we're going to make it.
So give me some insight into some of your interactions today. Anything stand out in talking to people that you're going to remember from this experience? What's been the overall vibe of your interactions with the people that pass?
Well, the overall vibe is I'm surprised at how many professional people, architects or engineers, are confused about the fires that are supposedly brought these buildings down. But once you talk to them and they start thinking about it, and they realize, well, yeah, kerosene won't melt steel. So, but I've had some good encounters today. I met a person that I won't name. He used to be the president of Skidmore, Owens and Merrill, who built some of the buildings in New York at the World Trade buildings. And in fact, he's no longer with Skidmore, Owens and Merrill, but he's on his own firm, and he's known worldwide. But coincidentally, Skidmore, Owens and Merrill just did the design and construction for the replacement of Building 7. So it was interesting meeting him.
All right. Well, Richard, thank you so much for coming out here, lending your name to the resolution. And I have no doubt you're gonna be speaking tomorrow, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're gonna see Richard. I'm sure there'll be some video or something that comes out.
And I'm a delegate.
And you're a delegate. He's a voting member too, folks.
I'll be voting for officers and the resolution.
All right. You can't ask for better than that. Thanks, Richard. And now I'm gonna bring on none other than Richard Gage, AIA. He was busy for quite a while here, working hard, talking to different delegates as they come by. He's finally ready to talk to us. Richard, how's it going today?
It's a good day. We've got like, I don't know, 8-10 volunteers here today. And no matter, it seems like whenever you look up, all of them are talking to one or more architects.
Yeah.
We are busy. We've got over 100 petitions signed already at the AIA conference here. We've spoken to a number of people who are delegates, meaning they're going to vote on the resolution.
Yeah.
With 16-3. And one of these delegates we had the opportunity to talk to is from California, and she had to caucus today of 30 to 40 Californian architects. And they, among themselves, agreed that this third resolution about Building 7 needs to be approved. So there's like 30 votes, and they represent hundreds of people themselves throughout California, probably 1,000.
Wow.
I don't know. So I'm really excited about having made that connection and heard that result. Somebody got up and spoke to them very favorably about the need for a new investigation of Building 7.
That is amazing. And so what's the overall vibe? I've been asking everybody this today. What's the overall vibe that you're getting from just talking to people as they pass by?
The overall vibe is, yeah, that's a controlled demolition. We got to do something about this. You want me to sign something? Sure. Excuse me, still dealing with a cold here. So we ask them 3 questions. Did you know a third tower fell? They say, generally they say no. So half the time maybe they say yes. And either way, we say, well, what's bringing this building down? Is it fire? Is it controlled demolition? Well, your hunch, your best guess. Most of them say controlled demolition. You say, you know what? 2,500 architects and engineers agree with you and are calling for a new investigation of Congress. Not that that's not needed, but an investigation by Congress, which, okay, we have questions about who's going to really be trusted to investigate this. Can Congress? That's another question. The point is that they end up signing our petition and joining the 2,500. And sometimes they need more information. And boy, do we have it. We have evidence of high-tech incendiaries in the rubble pile underneath Building 7, molten iron flowing like lava. The ends of the beams partially evaporated, according to Jonathan Barnett, who is the author of the FEMA report, who put in an appendix. He's the author of the Appendix C in the FEMA report, in which is a metallurgical examination of the steel, which shows a hot molten iron attack on the steel, hot sulfur corrosion attack. And NIST, when they came in, threw out this whole section, and they ended up denying basically that there was molten iron, molten steel. So this is an incredible travesty of justice. And guess what? The AIA stamped the official building report from NIST in 2008 without sending it to their members for a proper peer review. And they basically said, okay, we buy off on this. And ever since then, the board has squelched attempts to get a real investigation. And that's what we're bringing to people's attention. That's why we're going to be battling the board tomorrow at the business meeting where 400 of the top AIA architects in the country are there, and they're going to be debating this. So we're going to be positioned to educate them very carefully on the floor, showing Building 7 coming down, talking about it, and we should do a whole lot better this year than last year, judging by the feedback we're getting from the delegates, the people with the green stickers who are actually voting.
Oh, and I think that our listening audience, our watching audience on video here has to take a lot of credit for all the great outreach that's happening, volunteer efforts, because it's not just what we're doing here at the AIA. It's also all of the talk out there on the internet, sending information, sending the Beyond Misinformation booklet to peers of Richard, architects, engineers, asking them to look at it and give their honest opinion. That's how you reach out to these folks. So, Richard, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for founding Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth.
You're welcome.
Giving everyone an opportunity to get a real investigation. If we keep working hard, I have no doubt that we're going to get that in the end. So, folks, we're going to conclude this live broadcast update from the AIA conference. Keep on watching. Keep on watching AE911 Truth's Facebook page for updates on how the resolution goes tomorrow. And wish us all luck. We're going to be going for it. So you have a great day, and talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody.